Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesday with your host Fadil Al Khatib. Alright, so sadly today is gonna be our last episode of Wellness Wednesday because we are stopping over, which is why we have a special guest, our dear Tylo, Mr. Ng Jun Wei,
Hi everyone.
aka Chinky Chicken, and also have Harrison, not to
Yes.
forget. Okay, so today we'll be talking about intellectual wellness. So to begin, what is intellectual wellness to you guys?
So you want to start first?
I start first. Okay.
Of course.
I think it's really about being open-minded, exploring all sorts of knowledge and skills, being curious about life, right? Spending time to willing to pick up new skill. Yeah. So I think that is really to expand the knowledge that you have in this world. I think that's
knowledge.
intellectual wellness.
How about you, Harrison?
Yeah, I think Mr. Ng summed it up very well. Also similar, like it's more about opening yourself to new experiences, learning new things that you may not be like comfortable with, and just exploring wide variety of stuff in life. Yeah.
I see. Well, according to our friends again at UC Davis, intellectual wellness encourages us to engage in creative and mentally simulating activities. So, what kind of activities can actually be done, to develop this intellectual wellness? What do you guys think?
I think if you have always been a sportsman, right? Like you yourself play sepak takraw, Harrison himself plays soccer. It's good to pick up something that you have never learned before, such as a musical instrument. And then that changes the way your mind think a bit. The psychomotor skills to play guitar is a bit different.
That's
If you know how to play musical instrument, maybe you can do something that you're not familiar with, like swimming, or do something else that you have never really done before. That will open your eyes to maybe new horizon of things.
Yeah, for me, I think if because like us, our whole
Mhm.
life we've been playing sports mainly.
Yeah.
So I think we can expand to different things, maybe arts or
Yeah.
different types of Like for me, I learn photography also sometimes, and I try different type of sports. Maybe not so like physical based, like cycling, like leisure, those kind of things. Yeah, so I think it's more about experiencing new stuff and new horizons. Yeah.
I see. So, what kind of activities do you do that really you think helps with your intellectual wellness? Because you before this you actually thought you actually was from a different course, right?
Yeah,
Like, then now you're teaching something in sports. So
yeah.
would you say there's something of
That's something similar. I myself always very interested in learning new things. So since young, I do different things, and I'm into arts. I'm so into science, games, a lot of different things that people may not look into. And I'm so interested in finance. So I look up a lot of
Finance.
different
businessman?
things. And one day, I was just thinking, hey, I don't know how to play any musical instrument. When I was about 18 years old, I was thinking, hey, I never, because I was into arts, and I used to study in graphic design. And I was
graphic
thinking,
design.
yeah, graphic
Design.
design. So we learned how to use Photoshop, Illustrator, video editing, that kind of stuff. It wasn't so much for me because I didn't want a desk-bound job. Okay, so, but yeah, I think all jobs in the end, office work is desk-bound job.
I mean, fair point, yeah.
Fine.
But what actually made you switch, to teaching something in sports wellness management?
Because I'm always into fitness and building the physical body. I always find that the body and the mind connects, and the way to become more, in a sense, become more human, to
More?
attain a higher level of your own self, you need to build your body. So that's where I start to do more bodybuilding, and then I always get interested in learning new things, because I see all things actually connected in some way. So when I used to do art, I'm into learning a new musical instrument to see how it can change my mind in seeing new things in new perspective. And actually, it does change the way I look at things now when I learn a new skill. Yeah. For example, music, I play guitar, then now I appreciate music a little bit different from how I used to. Now I know there's verses, chorus, that where people purposely make it repetitive so people remember it better.
Oh yeah. I
So,
think I went through
interesting
something
things
similar
that-
also. Because last year I started jamming out lah, going to jam play music with my
yeah.
friends all. So like from there I learn like I really pay attention to the songs I listen, like, oh, this is electric guitar part, or like, you know,
Yeah.
the bass is very
Yeah.
good, and like seeing like the verses, or and then like I learn like what each of it stands for, verse, chorus, a chorus and a bridge, all that. Like I've learned like the structure of it, so like it really opened up my mind to new things that I didn't know was actually like essential to making music as well. And like I said in the previous podcast also, I also picked up the ukulele, and like
Ukulele. Okay.
yeah, and like really made me like, how to say like when there are songs that, you know, that they don't have the chords, you know, like it challenges me to like make those chords. And at first I really didn't know how, because I didn't know how like the chords will like sync up. I
How
forgot
each
the
of
word.
notes.
Yeah, like
make up a
which
chord,
one like after these notes, like after this chord, then what chord should be played
Chord
next. So, but
progression.
yeah, the chord progression. But like now that I slowly learn also, now I know how the chord progression works all. So yeah, that's I like, now that I think about it, I didn't realize this was all related to intellectual wellness.
Yeah.
You know, like being curious, like sometimes curiosity does kill the cat, but you know, there's actually a second part to it, you know, satisfaction brought it back. Yeah, so I guess it's like you can be curious, just don't let it overwhelm you. Don't like really like, how do I say this? I also don't know what I'm saying already. But
You need to plan out the.
yeah,
set more
don't
priorities.
be too rash lah.
Like
Like-
have a few priorities in life, and then if you have extra free time, you go and learn new skills and all that. That's fine. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so you could say that it's like it really like balances out everything lah. Like it's the
It makes you more whole as a person.
yeah. So you can say it's very important. So like, why do you think is very important though? Like, why do you think this is like one of those, how do I say this? One of the more important one. Yeah. Why is it important?
Intellectual awareness.
Yeah.
Why is it more important? I feel because, like, you know, intellectual awareness is about like being curious about new things, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes if you're not curious, then you can tend to like stagnate in life. So I feel because intellectual awareness makes you like, you know, gives you a sense of purpose sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
a direction in life, or like experience new things and passion. So it kind of like, you know, runs on to the other aspects of wellness also. Like you have a passion, so emotionally you'll be more like, you know, stable. I have something to work towards. Spiritual also, like I have a purpose to do now.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah, that's
think,
true.
that's
That's true.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I always find that it's very it's to be curious and learn new things is a very it's something that makes a person human. I find, because when you look at the tree and then you see the leaves, to normal people it's just a single leaf. But if someone understands the science of how trees are born from a seedling and it grows, it gives you more the ability to appreciate life a little bit better. If someone into art, they see the colors that's being reflected by the green and all that, it helps you understand if this is how the world actually works using a natural law. That. So I find by knowing more things and learning new things, it helps you to appreciate every single small thing that you have in life, rather than just going past them and ultimately just leave this earth. So it always helps us to see things in a new light. But by being like you learn about arts, and you see things in the artist way, and you learn in science, you see things in the science way, and if you can see more things in different perspective, I find that that's always something very beautiful to explore.
So it's like just being
Makes you
able
happy.
to look from a different different perspective.
It makes you
okay,
happy
okay.
in general.
Yeah.
It makes you able to understand people a little bit better, especially people that are different a little bit better.
I guess that's true. I guess yeah, that's very true. I mean, I think it's very important because like encourages learning. Learning is something that never stops. You know, like from what I believe, like, you know, in life, like you're always doing something that you're always learning, constantly learning. There's never a point of time where you stop learning at all. You know, like it can be even simple things like you know, I didn't know my laptop can do this, or I didn't know that I could open a portal this way. You know, like you're always learning new things every day.
It makes you feel confident about yourself,
Yeah.
and you're competent in learning new things.
I guess it's what keeps life interesting lah.
Yeah.
You know, like because if you knew everything already and like just like that, then
It's boring,
you
right?
can appreciate it, but like eventually get bored of it.
Yeah.
You know, like so like not knowing things also. I guess that's a blessing in disguise also lah. Because like not knowing things will actually make you want to know more. Will encourage you to want to know more about it. You know, like curiosity is just very important to explore ideas and understandings all that. Like what you say lah, understanding from a different person perspective will actually help you look at a bigger picture in life lah.
And I think what I enjoy most is learning things consciously, not just learning things unknowingly and experiencing things without knowing, hey, actually I learned this. But if I know that I'm going here with an intention to learn new things, such as if I travel, right, and I travel to maybe Japan or any other countries, and I tell myself, what am I going to learn through this experience? I'm going to find 3 things about Japanese that is different from my own country people. I want to see how they why are they behaving this way that I don't, and what is a good thing about this and what is a bad thing about this. So when I come with that intention, I find that the travel experience is a bit more meaningful to me. Yeah, rather than just let things happening to myself, I actually go in and find things myself. Yeah, I find that's interesting to me,
So it's better to set a goal, is it?
to be more purposeful in all the things that you do. So you always come in with a purpose, and then so you get something out of it consciously.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like you all take it differently lah. Like for
Yeah.
me, like I like to be surprised. You know, like there are things that I don't know. Then like suddenly, like you know, like when you find it out by yourself unconsciously, like you know, it's actually very satisfying because like you did it without actually aiming for it, and that like knowing that you can do that. Imagine if you actually work towards it and actually was like aiming for it, you could have done it better. But knowing that I can do this now, I know how to improve from this step
That
on.
requires you to reflect back. what
Yeah,
happened and all
I
that.
guess it takes a lot of reflection lah. Yeah. Any input?
For what was the original question again?
Why is it
Why is it
important
important? Yeah.
that-
To be curious. I think I answered it just now in the first part. Right? Curious, like you know, it really affects other aspects of your wellness, or then also to be curious. It's just I think in life, it's all about like you know, changes. I feel, and then going through new experiences. So it tends to be like if you get too comfortable with one thing, you tend to like stagnate.
Oh
Then
yeah.
it becomes a bit like, no, I'm too comfortable. It's like it's not hard, it's not easy anymore. I just get used to it. So like I don't think a person really can grow if they just stay in their comfort zone. So it's always good to be curious and like expose yourself to uncomfortable situations. So it really helps the person grow. So you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's a very good point.
I think humans, if they don't grow, they die. It's a bit like businesses. If it doesn't grow, it will die. It can't be stagnated.
Yeah.
We are always growing in some way.
Yeah, I guess if you stay at that point, it becomes
From
more of
doctor.
yeah. No lah. I mean, I guess it becomes more of surviving rather than living lah. You know.
Being functional to live only and not really thriving in life.
I guess okay. So now seeing that is very important, right? How can one actually start their route to intellectual wellness? What can they do to like better improve their intellectual wellness?
For myself, I think there's a few things that I used to do. Right, one is to pick up reading. So I never read in my life much until I went to national service, where then I have a lot of time. Then I start to pick up reading. Then I find that actually reading is very interesting. It's much better than watching a movie. Like if you have a Harry Potter series, right? Of course, I don't watch fiction, but if you have a Harry Potter series and watching a movie, the movie tells you a lot of things and then you get to experience it. But when you read the book, you can creatively imagine a lot of things inside your head, and that builds up connection. It makes you able to learn how they better tell a story. I find that very interesting to do that. But usually what I used to do is I read non-fiction more than fiction. I find reading about other perspective, you are like able to live their life, and as though you live many lives. You get to read other people.
Like reading biographies, autobiographies, all that.
You live many lives in that sense. It's a good experience.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never thought of that before actually.
So do it when you have more free time.
Yeah lah.
For me, how I improve like the route to intellectual wellness is usually I find a topic that I'm not very certain in, or like I feel I want to improve more in this. Like for example, like at that point of time, there was some point of time I was very curious about the human mind. Like that. So I'm not very sure about it. So I went to read up more and like watch videos. Then it helped me like understand myself better also. Then that I really like like flows on in life. But like not after I understand myself better, I get to expose myself to more different things, and I became more curious about because of the mind. I think more about like art stuff, like how to express myself in like different forms. So I feel it really starts with just finding something that you are not sure in or curious. Then you learn more, then you will expand on, then you can explore different points in life also.
Especially you're young, right? It's good to explore different areas. So you never know that will help you in other part of your life also.
I guess it's just to be more open-minded.
Yeah, to open your mind.
Yeah, so like I would say that being open-minded is easier said than done. Because being open-minded doesn't mean you're only open to positive things. You also have to think criticism or like like if people criticize you, you have to openly take it. I mean like not like really like they really like hantam you like that, they swear you or not that like, I guess it's just
kind of
constructive criticism, like saying like the way like sometimes that tone may be off by like when they tell you that you could do something better or something like that, like you should be able to accept it instead of telling, oh, I'm better than that, or like he should just shut up, he doesn't know what he's doing. So like they should be taking it in so that they can learn how to improve themselves. I mean, that's what I do. Because I know that I can always improve. So like any form of criticism, like sometimes it may come off wrongly but I can see from what kind of perspective they're talking.
Don't take it too personally.
Yeah, don't take it personally. I guess it's to listen more to
why people say certain things and
like,
how you can improve from there.
Because I would say if you would when you listen, you're able to understand more. Like you're able to see why a certain person acts this way or why they do a certain kind of activity or whatnot. It's again looking back at everyone's perspective and like understanding more and less looking at the bigger picture.
Actually, that was a very good point. As I grow older, right, I also start to realize that whenever I believe that nothing happens for randomly. Everything happens for a reason. So any kind of conversation people make with each other, there must be a reason why it happened this way. And if we look that in the sense of the objective to develop yourself as your character, when people make certain criticism at you, don't be so fast to react to it. Think about why they say the things that they say and learn from their experience. So I just find that as a very interesting thing to do.
Even if you don't like the person also like
don't take it too personal.
Yes, I mean maybe traveling also helps, because
open up
again like what you said when traveling overseas you're seeing the cultures of many other people, so like you can see the comparison, see like how different it is or how similar it is. And like sometimes like for example when I went to Philippines, like the first time I went to Philippines was an entire culture shock because like
that's how you get accent.
No lah. I mean I went to my mom's part, so like
your mom is Filipino?
Yeah, I'm half Filipino.
Okay.
So like I'm not flexing, but when I first went to my mom's area, province, right? It was in Bataan, Manila. So
Manila.
Yeah, so like firstly when I just dropped off the airport, like seeing when I stepped out, like I saw like the kind of transport firstly, like compared to Singapore, we have air-conditioned buses and all that, and actually well-maintained roads and proper traffic flow. But in the Philippines, there's like they call it tricycle, so like it's a motor with a how's it?
3 wheels lah.
Yeah, 3 wheels is actually very fun to ride. Then like the traffic is very horrible.
Yeah.
And like the buses they have, I'm not sure, I don't remember what they call it, but it's like very very small like vans. Then like people just enter. So I don't really know how it works because I never taken it, but I saw the major difference. And then like seeing the houses also as well. Like my mom like they're considered rich in
the province side.
Yeah, because she worked in Singapore, so like when she go there, like she's considered rich in the Philippines. So like when I visited the other parts, right, it's mostly like a lot of slums and a lot of like houses that they built up.
That's in Manila.
Manila, yes. So it's actually very common. It's very very common to see around there.
More city
It's
like
not.
a bit like
You can say that, but because we had to travel, I think 3 hours out from Manila. I don't remember.
Or outskirts of the
Yeah, because that's where my mom was from. So like, seeing the difference, seeing the conditions that they live in, seeing how I live, like it made me appreciate what I had more at home. Because I have security, I have clean food and water, and like it's more or less just safety lah. And like seeing the way that they live, like it's not saying that they are poor or the way they live is very horrendous. It's just like they seeing what they have right there and seeing how they are so grateful for how little that they have, like
Yeah.
it changed my perspective on things. And another time when I went to Philippines was when I went to my stepmom's province. So over there it was a completely different experience because that whole stretch of road, right, actually it was actually named after the family because that whole stretch everyone was related.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not, can say it's a village, but
Everybody know each other.
yeah,
Or
everyone know each other and
related.
everybody is related, like related by blood.
Kampong spirit, lah.
Yeah,
Back
it's-
then it's like that also.
It's very interesting. It's in Dian Ai.
They stay together, basically, all the blood related people.
Yeah, it's not like in one house also. It's on one whole road,
Yeah.
one stretch road. And it's very interesting. So like when I went there also, they were building a house, their house, the one we were going to stay in, and like they build it up by themselves, and like again it made me realize, like in Singapore we have the construction workers and all that, the foreign workers are. The one that comes from Bangladesh and India.
India,
Correct me if I'm
China.
wrong, but like seeing that this from compared to Philippines, they have to build it up by themselves because they want to, and like it's cheaper that way. Like not a mansion, like like those semi-terrace house. They build it up there for the price of one HDB over here. So everything, including the land, including the what they call
The
it?
nice garden.
Yeah. So like it's really interesting to see that they're very very hardworking, and they're willing to do anything that it takes. From what I remember also, like I remember my stepmom told me that the people there, they're working at a river to take the stones. They work for about 12 hours a day. Morning to night, I don't remember, but they are getting paid for I think like 50 cents, 50 Singapore cents.
A day.
Yes, a day. So like I see also, it really made me more grateful. Really like open up my perspective to like what I have now.
Save more.
Yeah.
Take care of your finance properly.
Yeah, and like to
More
be more
responsible.
grateful. So I guess traveling actually really helps a lot lah. But I've only travelled to Philippines so far. Cambodia, there was one time also, and Malaysia. That's about it. So do you guys have anything else to add?
I really forgot the original question.
is it
How you can improve what do you call it? Intellectual
Intellectual
wellness, like how you can begin your route.
Oh yeah, I want to add on the reading part, especially because of youth, right? Nowadays we have a lot of social media, Facebook, Instagram. We are always the receiving end. We consume a lot of this material, and things happen very short seconds. If things last more than 1 minute, we get bored of it already.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's why it's impossible for any of the young people these days to sit through a lecture. I think it's not possible because of the short attention span. It's very difficult. So I find reading actually changes the mind so much that you are able to now tahan a longer period of time reading and listening to things that are not so stimulating using visual and audio. Yeah. So because of how the world is right now, things happen very fast. A lot of simulation. It's very hard for us to focus on things that are not stimulating. And reading can actually do that. But the good thing about reading is not because it's boring, but actually because it allows you to imagine a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you develop that kind of skills where overconsumption of those social media won't be able to help with. So because I do see the effect because I start to read less due to life responsibility and commitment, so that I realize I become more and more easily bored from things, and that's a dangerous thing to have. So reading actually does counter that kind of effect. So what I do is I will make sure I do the hard things first, then the easier things like play games, use social media, I'll do it later, but after I complete the harder things to do.
Oh, okay.
So that keep me disciplined to make sure I do have some of reading sometimes, exercising sometimes.
Very interesting. Do you have anything?
I think just now the point you said about traveling, right?
Mhm.
I kind of relate to it, because I went for a like exchange program trip
Okay.
like to Vietnam. Then like
Yeah.
I really realized that because it was a two-way thing. It's like they came here to Singapore, then we had to host them. Then we went there, then they
That was
host us.
in Polytechnic years.
Yeah, last year only.
Last
So like I think I really like what you said. I feel it really changed me because like when I came to it, I wasn't really like open-minded about a lot of things that I feel very like entitled in Singapore. Then after I see like how even when they come here, like even though it's like our country, right, we're supposed to host them, but those people are very like they have a sense of responsibility a
on
lot.
the ground.
Yeah,
very
then they
hardworking.
they really like we give them a project to do. It's a very simple project. Like to us, it's like like GSM, right? But they really like stay up all night to like complete the work, right? And then we see like, wow, it's actually very simple, but they really put their all in it.
They take every little thing as very important.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I really like after it, I made me like want to work harder also. Then also like when
Interesting.
I see them how they live here in Singapore, it's like we safe country, right? Very the roads are all like very well developed, but they still like care for like we have like female friends here hosting them, but they will still like be very like caring for us, even though it's like we supposed to be the one hosting them, like, they still take care of us. So like I went there, I really like see the difference in myself. Like I went there, I'm a guy, but I never really like look
Take care,
after of them. So when I come back to Singapore, I was like I feel I became more like gentleman,
More
like
aware of
aware of
things,
what to do, the small things.
Gentleman.
Yeah,
Ooh.
small things, and like how to care for other people. So I think all this kind of traveling thing really helps.
I think a lot because we take safety for granted.
Yeah.
They don't. They know it's dangerous out there,
And that's something we had growing up in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's like
so they'll care for people more than we do, because we think everything's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody get injured or what.
I mean, low crime doesn't mean no crime.
Yeah.
But I think there's one movie that actually really like highlights the differences in living. Like I guess it's really intellectual.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Sometimes we like,
No, okay, that's one. But there's one about this American football player. I forgot the name of the movie.
goal.
No, American, like the football, American rugby.
Oh, I don't know.
Like American football, yes. He was adopted by this white family. It was actually very fun. I forgot the name because it really highlighted this perspective of living in the slums and living high class. It's actually a very interesting movie. I forgot the name. I think we watched it recently.
From downtown to uptown.
No. It's about American football. It was based on a true story.
Cook
The one,
something.
sorry?
Isn't that they show in school that one?
No,
They
no,
make us watch one.
The one.
Not that one.
What do you call it?
I don't know.
Okay, at this part, I'm going to Google now. The Blind Side. Yes, Sandra Bullock. Yes, okay, it's fine. Yes, Sandra Bullock, The Blind Side. Yes. So yeah, that movie really like when I watched it, really like
You cry.
not so emotional one lah. Only cried during Pokemon movie but it really like gave a different perspective, because seeing the character that Sandra Bullock played, when she actually went to visit the American food, I forgot the name of the guy, his side of town, like she was very shocked and like she really learned a lot of things, like open up her mind to others' perspective, like what we said just now. So I guess that's one movie that's I guess highlights intellectual wellness. Yeah. So to just sum it all up, intellectual wellness is just constant learning. Constant learning, constant exposure to new things. How is that right? How you guys sum it up?
I would say it's the having the curiosity in life to always learn, to be very motivated to learn things, not because you can get money out of it or physical things out of it. You learn because you enjoy learning. For me, it's I can see a different perspective of life, and that makes me happy, right? Rather than being too constrained into things that I can see. Because as introverts, I think all of you are introverts. We always see things the way we want it to see, because we always keep thinking about it, and we cannot see how other people see it at times. Right? And being able to open myself to see myself rather than just look within, I feel that now I understand things a little bit better, and I don't feel so sad and unhappy at times. Yeah, it helps me to see more things at a bigger, broader perspective.
Okay. How about yours?
Yeah, I think to sum it up, we just always putting yourself in a new situation or finding out a new way to express yourself, something like that. Because if you learn something new, I feel it always gives you an outlet, like a new way to see things, like Mr. Ang say, see things or express yourself, enjoy life in different kinds of ways. So I think that's how I would sum it up.
I see. Well, alright then. I guess that's the end of our podcast. Our very final podcast. We won't be seeing you guys for a long time. I don't know if there's any guys watching this, but
And ever.
yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed the podcast for the past 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Yeah. Yes, feel free to look through our Instagram page at NYP FWM, or feel free to find our Instagram pages. It'll be linked there, hopefully.
Link there, please.
Yeah. So goodbye.
Please check it.
Bye bye.